Jessica, good day. U.S. stocks rising above their record highs today, Jessica, and I suppose you'll tell us why there are a few factors taking the market to those highs.
Thanks, Devin. Yes, we are seeing quite a positive day in U.S. equity markets. The S&P 500 index rallying as much as 0.3% to, like you said, record high levels here, being led higher by financials. The NASDAQ, Dow Jones also higher. We're really seeing investors contemplate, though, whether the economy and the corporate earnings results we've been receiving and will continue to receive are going to support this bull run that we've been seeing. So that's sort of what's on investors' minds. I also want to point out data that came out that was quite positive. U.S. consumer spending did rebound in March. And finally, another big focus on the market's minds this week is the U.S.-China trade talks that will get underway. So we're really going to be keeping a close eye on that.
And then, Jessica, the Avengers assembling the biggest box office film in history, far surpassing multiple records on the books here. I mean, this was really a big film, wasn't it?
Yes, absolutely. Avengers Endgame is doing quite well, I would say, definitely breaking box office records. The movie brought in $1.22 billion in its debut, bringing in more than $300 billion alone in just the U.S. and Canada. Essentially, Avengers is the first film to break that $1 billion level, climb above it there in its opening, and it did it in just 5 days. To give you a little bit of an audience demographic breakdown, we saw about 57% males in the crowd, 18% families, and I also want to point out one more interesting fact to you. Walt Disney now owns the top 4 weekend openings with Avengers and Star Wars. Disney shares were a little changed today, but have rallied strongly for the past 4 days.
Very interesting indeed. And finally, Airbnb. I mean, we're having a little bit of controversy here back home on regulation and so forth, but I see it has disrupted the hotel industry. But the online rental site could be getting some unexpected competition now from the world's biggest hotel chain, Marriott.
Yes, Marriott is taking on Airbnb here in a bit of a stronger way. It is going to be expanding its home sharing business in the U.S. It first launched that business in Europe last year, and it now plans to add about 2,000 additional homes to be rented out in the U.S. in vacation destinations such as Lake Tahoe in California, Bar Harbor, Maine. And analysts are saying that home sharing, it's here to stay. Hotel operators really need to embrace it. And we've been seeing other operators also try to grab a piece of that market share. In fact, in 2017, Hyatt actually invested in a home-sharing startup called Oasis. So we'll continue to see how these big hotel operators take on Airbnb.
Jessica Summers in New York, thanks indeed for giving us that update.